Today we're making kimchi fried rice, focusing on the kimchi and the rice to see how we can get the best out of both. Starting with the selection of the rice. Short grain rice is traditionally used in Korean cooking. It's higher in gelatinous starch, soft and slightly sticky when cooked. In Korean fried rice, you're aiming for slight chewiness, not the separated grains like Chinese fried rice. You rinse the rice thoroughly. A touch of toasted sesame oil to modulate the starch release. And kimchi brine. Yes, the authentic part of this video is over. Extremely flavoursome. It's also acidic thanks to the fermentation process, and this would slow the starch gelatinization, giving you a firmer texture, and this will improve the sticky chew. The salt content of the brine would further enhance that chew. And given how flavoursome this is, we dilute this with water. We're aiming for about 30% brine. In total, we're aiming for a 1-to-1 ratio, the 1 being the weight of the pre-rinsed rice. We've covered how to cook rice extensively in a previous video. You can watch that here or use a rice cooker. Once it's cooked, we fluff to remove trapped air. We form one even layer on the tray, into the fridge overnight to dry the surface. If you're really hungry, put this next to a fan or just use day-old rice. However you dry it, this is the texture you want. I can run my hand through it and nothing is sticking to me. Now, the kimchi. Traditionally, the older the better, which gives you a higher acidity to cut through the richness of the dish, more concentrated umami, a softer texture which blends into the dish more seamlessly, and of course more concentrated flavors. We squeeze out the brine to divide and conquer, preserving the tang. And we chop them roughly. We still want to feel them. About the same weight as the pre-rinsed rice. Medium heat, neutral oil, kimchi goes into cook. We want to evaporate its water content and further concentrate its flavors. And later on, develop some nutty complexity via caramelization of its natural sugars. If you're using an induction stove, be a bit careful because sometimes the kimchi could pop. Once there's not much steam coming out and you can almost smell the complexity we just developed, we crush a few cloves of garlic to refresh the pungency. Just about 10 seconds because we don't want to lose that raw pungency. Rice goes in. And we gently separate the grains with our fingers. We give it a good mix. Once everything is coated with this beautiful kimchi-infused oil, you don't want to move it too much to give it a chance to develop those slightly burned bits to contrast with the beautiful chew we've already developed. It's like making a Spanish omelette. Now, once everything is warmed through and you start to develop these crispy golden bits, we lower the heat slightly and we start to season with some gochujang, which brings some sweet heat, umami depth, fermented richness, and of course, the signature red color. Now, knowing we're also going to be using soy sauce for the salinity and umami and to minimize unnecessary mixing, creating more starch content, we mix our soy sauce with the gochujang on the side. You can add some optional sugar for balance. Now, bit by bit, this goes in. Only when the previous round has fully disappeared, the next round goes in. And the natural sugars from both parties would help us further develop the slightly charred and burned bits. You taste and adjust the seasoning, and the last minute, reintroducing the brightness and the funk, a bit of our kimchi brine. Cook for just long enough for the excess moisture to evaporate. We want to preserve the tang. Stove off, last minute, a small drizzle of toasted sesame oil to reinforce the nutty complexity we developed with the kimchi. Now we can plate. Sticky, chewy, crunchy. kimchi goodness.